So we are going to have 5 Jinja priorities for 2022. There's a document that you'll have access to if you want to see it in more detail. I've spoken to it briefly before, but the first one I want to talk about today is what we call Group Services 250. Only a few years ago, we were 100 people. We are on our way to, within maybe as little as 8 or 10 months, being 200 people. But the big thing is these staff members are all really distributed around the world in more than 10 countries and in as many as 5 or 6 hubs. So to build a really coherent firm out of that, in which you can have a brilliant career, become the best person of yourself, requires something different, something that we've never really had before. And that is a transnational firm's version of group services. And so we want to build a Group Services 250 for a 250 person firm, and we are in the process of doing so, and we've already made great strides. So that has a number of aspects. What does Group Services do? It builds our finance, it brings about efficiencies, it looks after our talent, it helps us with communications, it looks after internal processes, it looks after our hubs, our physical networks, our virtual networks. And so therefore Group Services is at the heart of what it means to work at Genesis, and it's at the heart of our strategy going forward. So Group Services 250 is really upgrading what we have already to something that will fulfill that purpose. And we want to be best in class as far as that's concerned. In fact, we think about Group Services as an expandable platform for what we do now, but also for new practices, new geographies, new offices, new service lines. So it's a big deal, really big deal. And we're really thrilled that we have a Group Services core team that's brilliant and committed to this ideal. So what are we going to be doing? Well, we are building up our talent capabilities so that we can be not just compliant, but a great employer across a whole host of locations, and also provide something as close as possible to a notion of global mobility for our staff members. The second thing we're going to be doing is we are really going to be working on being as financially capable and efficient as we can as a firm. We are a for-profit firm. We work in sometimes low margin areas, but with big impact, with big growth, with much, much bigger projects than before. You know, 4 years ago, the largest Genesis project might have been $300,000. Now the largest Genesis project is $7 million. So for all of that, we need a brilliant finance team, which we have, but we need a new approach to finance and efficiency, which is a job for all of us. And of course, Intact plays a critical role in that. And then beyond that, we will also be looking at things such as communications, and also really exciting is something that we call a delivery support unit that we plan to launch by the end of the year. And this will be a part of Group Services that will help us develop the best versions of large projects as efficiently as possible. These will also ultimately be more implementation oriented. There can also be some projects that deal with technical assistance, with the running of funds for different purposes. So all in all, you know, the key message of Group Services 250 is that Group Services is at the heart of our strategy, at the heart of our growth plans, and at the heart of our success. So that's the first element I wanted to tell you about Jinja 22 is Group Services 250.